Hi, I'm Dave, founder of Halloween Around, and I just watched episode 4 of It Welcome to Derry, and I have some thoughts. On the one hand, this is probably my least favorite episode, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean that the other three kind of blew me away in ways that I wasn't expecting. I did enjoy the Marge weird eye scene. Sucks for Lily that she's just gonna look like she did it. Bad CGI aside, which let's talk about for a minute. I know this show and Andy Muschietti gets criticized for his bad CGI. When you're doing something like eyes, coming out like several inches, there's no way to make that look realistic. But the scene itself I really dug, and if you accept that it's not meant to look realistic, I'm kind of okay with the quote unquote bad CGI. My biggest takeaway from this episode, though, was the way that it adds to the mythos and the lore of Pennywise, of It. I really like the story that we hear, that Halloran gets out of Taniel at the end, even though I think it would have made more sense in the flashback if his Aunt Rose was the one telling him the story rather than him telling it back to her. I'm torn about the pillars thing, only because I think it's more interesting if Pennywise, It, is this interdimensional hunter, demon, whatever you want to call it. Well, It. And that its rules are its own. The fact that, it feeds on fear, the fact that it has to slumber and rest for 27 years. And I feel like they're getting a little too into, well, humans have affected what he can and can't do. And we're to believe, at least by the book and the other adaptations, that at this point, humans haven't really interfered that much with him or defeated him, but in order to have these other seasons, we kind of have to have humans doing more with him and knowing about him and at least coming close to defeating him. We'll see how the season ends. So I'm curious to see where it goes. I'm also curious to find out why the house on Nebel Street is still in disrepair in 1962. Did it ever look brand new? And I'm really, really interested and excited to see where they go with this because the season is now, I believe, halfway over, and this is a show I was not sold on. It grabbed me in the beginning, and it's getting to an interesting place, and I really hope it sticks to the landing. But if it chapter 2 is any indication, I don't know. And someone should have told the native tribes there that they didn't have to get weird mystical space daggers to bury to stop Pennywise. They just had to insult him to death, like the Losers Club did.